Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you the broken tile effect. What that is this effect that you can see around, and if I tilt this, hopefully you're going to be able to see that that has been embossed. Hold on, which way have I got to turn this? There we go. You see that shiny? And also on the sentiment as well. Come on, shine for me. There we go. Yes, you can see that shining now. Okay. So, what you need to do this is you need to make your own rubber stamp. I've made mine and I've kept mine. I'll show you what mine looks like. Okay, it's like this. Okay, and the way you make that is, I suggest you find an old clear block that you don't need again, because this is quite time consuming to make one of these stamps, and once you've done it you're really not going to want to do it again. You don't want to discard that and redo it. I keep mine and I use it every now and again. Now what we do is, that rubber comes from, I've started one very slightly. I'm not going to make a whole one, I'm just going to show you how it's done. Okay, now those, if you've ever bought rubber stamps, wooden rubber stamps from Stampin' Up, you will know that you get your stamps like this and then you put them together yourself. Okay, so that's what this is, like that. It's got the paper on the back and you put that onto your wooden blocks. Well, if you have that and you save this, and then with a decent pair of scissors, and these are the Stampin' Up scissors, which are brilliant, I have to say, you need to take the rubber and just cut it into very small pieces, any shapes you want to, but do make them tiny. The first one I did, I made my pieces far too big and I had to redo it. I think I have a photograph here, yes. Okay, now these were two that I did and they were side by side. I did this for a lesson, as you can see, on the 20th of April 2013. But you can see the big ones, that was miles too big. And the one that you can see by the side, this little one here, that's the one that I've just shown you. Okay, so that's what you've got to try and do, get these very, very small pieces. Okay, I'm not going to cut loads of them, but any which way. Okay, so little shapes like that. There's a few more that I did earlier on to prepare for it. Okay, so if I just move those out of the way. Now to make these, if you just take the backing, the paper backing off, then that is really nice and sticky, and you just put it onto your clear block. And you take the next piece and stick that next to it. And you take another piece and you just keep on going until you have filled your block up. You just put it up close. You want to push it as close as you can, but don't force it so that it is so close that there is no gap. You can see why this takes a long time to do. Let me just bring this up close. Okay, see how close that is? And then let's see if I can. Okay. Yep, that would be fine. There's a bit of a gap there, but that's fine. You don't want it absolutely tight so that there are no gaps in there. Okay, so there's that. See if we've got a bit with a straight edge, that's it. And then, I don't know, can you see me pushing that piece in? Okay. So you can see I've got a hole there in the middle. That's probably as big as you want it to go. I wouldn't do anything any bigger than that. Okay, so that's what you do. You work your way all the way round. Let's move that over there until you finish up with something like that. Okay, so that's quite big, that one. I'll show you what the size is like up against. Okay, so mine's twice the size of that one. It did take a long time, but I'm pleased that I did it because, as I say, I have used it on more than one occasion now. So let's get back to the card. This time I'm going to do it in always artichoke. So you need a card base that measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4, scored and folded in half. You need a layer of Whisper White that measures 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches, and then a layer of the DSP paper stack that measures 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. Then you need a piece of Whisper White for the bird and for the sentiment, and then you need some always artichoke for the background here. Okay, so somewhere here I think I already made the card base. There we go. The ribbon that I used, I just put one layer around, and that was our taffeta ribbon, I believe. In fact, I think this one's actually retired, but this is certain celery. The thing is with what I find with the ribbon from Stampin' Up is because there is so much on each reel, I don't get a chance to use all of it before it runs out, so I do use retired ribbons. I'm sorry about that, but I have to use it. So we're going to start now, first of all, with my Whisper White, and I'm going to stamp my bird. The bird comes from the set which is called An Open Heart, which is this one here. I love this stamp set, really love it. So that's my bird, and I'm going to stamp it first in Always Artichoke ink. Detail on this bird is really lovely. Will that be? Yes, that's wide enough to get it that way. There we go, that looks nice. And then what I do next is I take my rubber stamp that I've made and I cover it in VersaMark. Move that one out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put it on a sheet of paper, and I'm going to go above the bird because I need let's see which way, this way, because I need a bit extra to do the sentiment on. Okay, so just put that down. Can you hear my chair squeaking as I'm pressing down on my stamp? Okay, so let me take another piece of paper, because I will have some VersaMark on the edge. I don't want to pour my embossing powder on top of that. Okay, so put it onto this one, and I'm using the clear embossing powder here. No, I should have stamped the sentiment first as well. Silly me. Never mind. Yes, that's good. Okay, so if I put the dry one up there, because I'm going to have to do another piece for the sentiment, and I'll leave this one down here for the powder. Okay, so now I'm going to heat emboss this. As soon as you find your heat embossing turning shining, move it on to the next bit. You can overcook this. I think that's all done. It's nice. Okay, I'll hang that up there. And the next thing we do is we take the Sahara Sand Ink and a Sahara Sand sponge, and then we just sponge over this. Okay, so what will happen is this will go into the gaps where the embossing powder hasn't been. Okay, don't you think that's cool? And then just to give it a little bit of a buff with the kitchen towel so that it gets off any residue ink that's on the embossed bits. Hardly anything on there. So what do you think about that? Okay, it's alright, isn't it? Now, I should have done enough to do the sentiment, but I didn't, so let me just very quickly do that bit again. So this is the wet one with my, let's turn it over, use that side. Right, don't forget to do my stamping first. The sentiment I'm using is the birthday greetings, which is coming from the what one was that? Open Heart? No, Wetlands. That's that one. So, and also I've forgotten to wash this from the last one. Let me just quickly wash this. The last video I did was I used VersaMark on this because I embossed it. And although I'm embossing it this time, I'm embossing it the other way round, or at least a different way this time. Let's just mop that up. I always keep a towel by the side of my chair, so that if I need to dry anything up, I can do. Right, so first of all, with my Whisper White and my ink, birthday greetings. Turn it upside down. And then emboss it with my VersaMark. my wet sheet, bring my dry sheet over. There we go. Those two, and I'm going to heat emboss again. There we go, and then of course using the, just give that a minute to, well, a few seconds, not a minute. So. That's always artichoke. That's not going to look good, is it? Better. And again to go over with the kitchen towel. Not sure it actually makes any difference, but I'd rather err on the side of caution. Right, now I'm going to bring my big shot over to cut my shapes out. I'll pop those there, move my cards to the side. So the shapes I'm using, these are going to be discontinued, and this is the Labels collection. Labels collection. We do have some nice shapes coming out in the new catalogue, so I'm not unduly worried about these ones. Right, oh no, that's going to be punched, isn't it, that one? So I think I've used number 2. Yes. Okay, so starting from here, it's number 2 and number 3. So number 3 is the green one. There we go, and number 2 for my bird. There we go. The bird and the green base. Right, okay. And then for my sentiment, let's bring my pieces back again. I'm going to use the ticket punch, which will be retiring on the 2nd of June. So if you want one of these, you'll have to place up an order in a hurry. But But as I said with my last video, the reason I like this little punch is because this, to me, is sitting there like a picture, and that's like the name under the picture. You know, if you were in a art gallery or something. Right, I'm going to put those two together with the wet glue first of all. Okay. And this I'm going to put on with not pop dots, dimensions. First time I called them pop dots for a long time. It's what I used to call them before I started with Stampin' Up. But I should be calling these ones dimensionals. Right, okay. That straight. And then pop the sentiment on. There we go. That's better. There we go. What do you think of that technique? Makes something different, doesn't it? And it's easy. The only thing I say is it is time consuming making up the rubber stamp, but once you've got it, you can use it time and time and time again. I hope you decide to give it a try. Many thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please contact me because I will be happy to help you. If you've enjoyed watching, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button towards the right hand side of the screen or below the screen. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, please click on the link that's showing on your screen. And many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.